drink something, or you can also get it later, but then you can already get something to drink. And I think we start in a minute or something like that. Ah, sorry.
Do you need a charger?
I have a charger, I just need a plug. I plug it in, doesn't turn off. Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Do you want to start?
I can start.
That's
Yeah.
okay. So some people from Wolfsburg have joined.
Awesome.
They have a link. So I guess it's quite like rumor is like attendance. There's some people from school. I see them here, but to be honest, attendance is really low on rumor this time. Like, because some are from school. This is from school. He's from school. She's from school. She probably will come a bit later. Definitely from school. Some are from school, but then it's kind of crazy, but attendance is quite low. He said he will come later.
Yeah. Oh, good. Yeah, the coupon code, you can just share it. It's like until I think tomorrow people can use it, and then it will expire.
I'll share it now.
But yeah, later it's also on the slide. It's just
because I can share it
in
Luma and also in our Telegram group.
Yeah, exactly. Perfect. Perfect.
The microphone?
Yes, there.
It's working?
You have it.
Yeah, I have it here.
The audio and safety.
Amazing. Perfect. Sounds amazing. Very cool. Thank you very much.
Awesome.
Okay, I'm going.
Thanks. Okay, then let's get started. Stand for Okay, everyone. First of all, thank you for coming. My name is Simon. I'm developer advocate for Theta Labs, so for the Theta blockchain. Also on the side, I founded Theta Eurocon, which is a community-driven Theta conference, and Open Theta, which is an NFT marketplace on the Theta blockchain. And I will walk you through the workshop today, and if you have any questions, always feel free to ask. Our goal today is basically build an AI-powered NFT app, so we will combine on one side the AI side and also the blockchain side, minting NFTs on the Theta testnet. So what is Theta about? Theta started in 2018 and initially on the video streaming side, so peer-to-peer video delivery. And then with the blockchain underneath for the payment to the nodes that provide the bandwidth for the video delivery. And now it transitioned more into decentralized computing, because we just had the computing, so all the nodes already provided computing for encoding of videos. And with the AI hype and models getting smaller and being able to run also on smaller machines, we switched a bit and now using these nodes to do computing tasks. The blockchain is a EVM compatible blockchain, so if you worked already with Solidity on Ethereum or Binance chain, you probably know everything about it. It's almost the same. Theta has 2 tokens. That's a big difference. So the Theta token, which is the government's token, and is used for validators for staking, so securing the network. And then the T-Fuel token, which is like on Ethereum, the gas token you pay transactions with. One big difference back in 2018 was that transactions were way faster and way cheaper than on Ethereum. I don't know if you were back then in the crypto game 2020, 2021. Some transaction on Ethereum got super expensive and you could spend more on a transaction than it was worth that you were transferring. And it's more sustainable because it was from the beginning proof of stake and not proof of work. So now with the Edge Cloud, which is basically a hybrid cloud computing platform, we combine the decentralized part, so GPUs that run community members, or anyone can run them and earn money, and also enterprise GPUs, H100s, and since a week also from AWS, their native AI chips that you can rent there. And Theta's the best price per performance that you currently get on the market. So it's about, depending on the GPUs, but 10 to 30% most of the time cheaper than if you go through AWS, especially if you buy short-term GPUs. If you do long-term contracts with these big companies, then you often also get a cheaper price. So the Theta Edge Cloud is currently our biggest focus, building that out. And we established a bunch of different partnerships. So on one side, we have our customers very focused on academia. So right now, I think we have between 20 and 30 different university AI labs that use the Theta Edge Cloud for their AI training and development. And then a lot of different providers. So we have our edge nodes from the community, which can be just CPUs or also GPUs like NVIDIA RTX 3090, 4090s, 5090s, and then all the enterprise suppliers basically that provide GPUs through the Theta Edge Cloud. And then other partners on the video side, that's still going. Just the focus is right now more on the computing side. So from the token, if you're in the crypto game, back in 2021, short-term Theta was in the top 10 even of tokens. Now it has been going down a bit since the slide was made, but it's still one of the top AI tokens. And hopefully it goes up again, but the main focus is on building out the network and not hyping up the token. So hybrid compute, a key thing is they're combining centralized compute platforms and GPUs with decentralized ones. So we can provide for any needs GPUs, and not only high class, but also cheaper GPUs run by the community. One feedback we really got from a lot of universities is just the ease of onboarding. So I don't know if you guys have worked with AWS. It can be quite complicated just getting started and everything up and running. And with Theta Edge Cloud, it's pretty straightforward. The onboarding process, deploying your first model, you can run models. We will dive in a second also into like that we already provide open source ones, and also deploy your own Docker containers just to the cloud to run your own models, to run your own training, and so on. So yeah, here we're already at the features. So we have on-demand APIs, where you, similar to OpenAI, you just pay per token, per request. ongoing, so you don't have to run your own dedicated server, but you just pay what you use. And then we have dedicated models. If you want to run your own model, or you just want a own dedicated server just serving to your needs, you can deploy that. And with the dedicated deployments, then Jupyter notebooks, which you can also deploy, is often used in academia for like fast training and prototyping. And then, yeah, training specifically, like creating your own cluster of nodes, of community nodes, of high-end GPU nodes, if you really need to scale up the training and like one GPU isn't enough. And now what also got a lot of traction with a lot of partners of us in the sports area is the RAG chatbots. So you put in basically stored data, and then the chatbot answers based on that data. And we have partnerships with like NFL, MSL teams, NHL, so ice hockey also in the US, and South Korea, also sports soccer team that use basically that technology to provide a custom chatbot to their fans. And then the video delivery is still, like you can still use it for live streaming, yeah, just video delivery of your current videos, or also digital rights management. So you can protect your video behind the NFT, for example, from users. Or so if I'm an NFT creator, I could be, okay, I want to host this exclusive live stream just to my community, and then everyone just holding my NFT gets access to that video. And then also on the computing side is rendering and gaming, and that's coming soon, but will be then also using the GPU and CPU power of the cloud. So yeah, let's see. Let's quickly walk through the. Do it up here. See if there is no. Typed something wrong. Oh, yeah, there it is. So yeah, let's quickly walk through here. Just for you to know, you have the billing. If you create a new account, it will, like if you don't have a credit card, it will just say apply a coupon down here. We will give you.
Coupon is actually in our Telegram and Slack.
Yeah, and it's also lighter on the slide. And then you just apply, so you get like $10 of credits, but also if you sign up, you already get enough to use, like for the examples. Then we have the dashboard, so rendering is coming, the AI service and video services. So for the video, it's pretty straightforward. You can just create new videos, and then you have the feature, like you upload it similar to any platform, and then you have the feature to basically enable digital rights management, and you set the collection, the NFT collection and blockchain. Okay, swiping false. Let's swipe up. So yeah, you just set the network, so it's not even Theta specific, but it supports many different blockchains. Where you can have your own collection, and that enables then the holders to access your video or your video stream. Then let's go back. Here we have on the right side, so on-demand APIs. We will be using here for the workshop the Lambda 3.1 and the Flux 1. But yeah, you have a bunch of different APIs where you just get on-demand APIs to request. Obviously all open source, as yeah, they need to be open source so we can run them. And then you can also deploy dedicated models. And if you're interested to run your own containers, you would set up a new deployment, link it to your Docker Hub, Docker container, and then you can just run it there. Prototyping, yeah, that's the Jupyter notebook. And then we have here the GPUs and GPU clusters, so you can run dedicated GPUs and GPU clusters. Persistent storage is just so you can create storage. So if a node goes down, you can store data and not everything is lost. And then finally, the RAG chatbot. So here, like one advantage here is you can also use outside APIs. So you could use ChatGPT-o4 because there are some limitations to the open source ones. And then these chatbots, let's look into one. Like you have always a test playground, integration, knowledge base where you upload your data via API or just drop it up here. And then also you have agentic tools, so you can also let it call, like give it a function and say, okay, if the user requests the weather, then call the weather API and so retrieve direct data from there. So yeah, it's like agentic, so it can do more than just retrieve data from uploaded static data that you have. Yeah, let's go back. And then, yeah, so today it will be like on the integration side. So we will mostly work with, or we'll work with the on-demand APIs just because it's like there's no setup time. You can just use it. And then on the smart blockchain integration side, we will walk you through the deployment side, like how smart contracts work on the Theta blockchain, and then also integrating it in the back end so it mints NFTs. So yeah, the goal is build your first AI and blockchain project, and then also one big reason why we are hosting it is to motivate hopefully a few of you or many of you to join us for our hackathon in September. Yeah, there's 130,000 US dollars in prizes, in cash prizes. So it's not like cloud coupons, but actually USDT. So you can actually use it to live from it and continue developing your project. And yeah, we got about 10 spots left. The goal is to fill them up, mostly with people from here. So if you're interested, I will have also later a link for that. So you can sign up. If you have a project or an idea already, that's perfect. Just send us a pitch deck of your idea, what you want to build, how to integrate Theta. I think on the cloud computing side, it's super simple because it's like any AI project idea you have, just integrate in the backend the Theta Edge Cloud and you would qualify for it. And yeah, so the project today, the workshop, will be a step-by-step guide in the repo. So I will give you the GitHub repo where you can just follow through. It will explain everything. A lot of the code is just provided, like we won't focus on the front-end development. We will just focus on the integration and understanding it. And as the levels probably are very different, some people probably get through it quite fast if you already have experience with that. There's a chapter 7 where you then just can try out and try to do your own deployment, use that API instead, like the initial API, the on-demand API, and go through that and improve basically the app that we are trying to build today here. Also, there's a solution branch. So if you go to the GitHub, you can always switch to the solution branch, and then the functions that are missing, you can look them up there. and use that code, and that will make it work. So yeah, the resources are here. Let me show before you get started one more time what you're actually building. So the idea is that you can add your wallet address also per typing. Now here it's already in there, and then you can, let's hope it works. So it should be just an ORM that answers you, understands who you are, or has the context of chatting. But also if I say something like, if I tell it like I would like to see a rainbow, it should understand, okay, the person wants to have an image, and then generates me an image of a rainbow. And then or you could say also generate me an image, and so on. So the idea is to prompt it so it understands any request you have to get an image, and then you can mint it to your wallet. That will take a few seconds. And then, yeah, that's basically now the blockchain part, where we are using the Theta testnet to mint the NFT. And let's see. So yeah, and then we can check that out and say, okay, it minted me the rainbow as an NFT to my wallet, and so on. That's today's goal. Yeah. So
just a question.
yeah.
So is it then if somebody else like would post a picture that you can say, yeah, it's actually mine, here's my NFT? So
Yeah, you could use it for anything. So in the workshop, it will also give you, like, as the creator, you could say, okay, not just extract a prompt from the message that I'm sending as user, but add additional styling, for example. For example, you could create an NFT app where every image is styled in a certain way, and then all that, like you make your own collection, for example, or people can create their own image in your collection. Yeah, I think like now this simple app is just like for fun, but I think if you think a bit further, this can be used to, yeah, if you have an NFT project and want to do something creative. Back in 2021 at NFT NYC, I had a group. I knew few. They did NFT projects where people entered like their own style, and then they created custom ninjas, I think, for them based on that. And now they did it manually back then. Now you can just do it using AI. So like that's one thing, add your own style. Then, for example, if you want to have very specific, like want to have it answer based on your project, like if you have a project and should answer questions based on that, you could add instead using the on-demand API, use the React chatbot API, which then holds all the information of your project and about you, and then your community can just answer a question, anything, and then they will get an answer. So I think like it should just show you what's possible using blockchain and AI, and then hopefully you come up with a cool idea for the hackathon, and yeah, either in both, like connecting the two things, or one side, either the AI or the blockchain side. Any other questions so far? Okay, perfect. Yeah. So on the left side, you find the GitHub, and that will walk you basically through the whole process. If you have any questions, let me know. Yep.
Yeah. What is the NFT for the generated image? Super sure what does that mean. So hopefully everyone can hear us. So I'm just gonna announce like actually give you. So what is the NFT for the generated image? Not super sure how to answer that question. Yeah.
Probably what the use case of the NFT is. Or,
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, maybe
so,
you can.
Yeah, but just so in general, like why mint an image in an NFT? Like one idea, like one thing behind it is ownership. So you can show you are the one that created the image first. So with that, normally, like obviously with the same model and the same input, you can always generate the same image again. But if you have a collection of different images, you want to show, okay, I was the first person that with that specific input prompt and that
I mean, you
seed,
can show that you were the first one to generate.
yeah,
it.
created the image. So
There's a trace there on the
it's
blockchain.
a proof on chain that you were the first one. And then if you view it from the community side, I think it's also like as an artist, as you can add like your own styling behind it, you could say, okay, I elaborate very much on the prompt side, but don't really tell people what the prompt is. They only see in the NFT we had like the description, the prompt used, but they only see like what they typed in. But then I add my own styling on top, so they get like an NFT, which I don't know about a rainbow if they want to have a rainbow, but in the artist style. Then it's also a part to be part of a community, and you can actually track it on chain. So it's not lost in the sense like I create the image, download it, and I have it somewhere, but I can actually show people that I was the person that first minted it.
Well, yeah, I also asked in the chat if you rephrase the question, if we understood correctly. But basically, in this case, NFT is just a tool to provide ownership.
Yeah.
And how you use it, that's totally up to you. But it's just a tool to provide ownership. So it's a bit hard to wrap a head around it.
Yeah.
And sometimes the use cases are a bit strange, as they exist. But yeah, that's basically a way to provide ownership rights. Okay, let's do this. And since you're EVM compatible, right?
Yeah.
So that means that, for example, a privy would also work outside the box because it works with all EVM compatible chains the same, or is there some particularities?
Yeah, there's some limitations to Theta. So, for example, we still use the legacy transactions. So I know as I did the near hackathon, with the chain signatures, for example, they use the new transactions, which came with EIP 1, some EIP since the proof of stake. And so the new transactions don't work. So you have to use the legacy transaction style to, for example.
But can you still configure, for example, like preview or some kind of other account abstraction to like social login, so you can
Yeah.
like
Yeah, so you should be able to configure that. So it should work with maybe slight changes. But yeah, mostly like otherwise you can take NFT contracts from Ethereum, just deploy them on. Theta.
No, I mean for like to integrate some other tools, for example, like social logins.
Yeah.
So you could like deploy some kind of something which would use a paymaster, and like so we kind of users could come in, log in, just
Yeah.
with whatever email, and just be off to the races.
Yeah, should like depending on what you expect from the blockchain. Like as not all of the new EIPs are integrated. I don't know if there is something needed, but for example, I know I don't know if you know Magic.link.
Yep.
Yeah,
Of course.
so they work with.
Oh,
Theta.
okay, perfect.
So there's on Theta we have two different RPCs because Theta has like two tokens. So there's one RPC endpoint which is Theta specific, which you would use if you want to send Theta tokens, because that's not like it's not natural on Ethereum to have two tokens. And then you have the basically Ethereum endpoint. So that works the same as every Ethereum RPC endpoint on any other chain.
Okay.
That is
So it
EVM
means
compatible.
so there's what is the gas token for Theta?
T-Fuel, Theta Fuel.
Fuel. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So if you use the Ethereum endpoint, which also in the workshop we will use the like ethos.js as library to interact with the blockchain. So we use the Ethereum ETH RPC endpoint, and then you just interact with it like as you would use on Ethereum, but just like back in 2021.
Okay.
So the transaction style changed, and there's some other EIPs that haven't been integrated into Theta.
Yeah,
So
I
that's
presume
like
it's
the only.
not easy to keep track of all the new ones.
Yeah. So that's not. Yeah, not everything is the same, but in general, it works similar. So yeah, for example, also if you compile Solidity code, you should use the 8.19, 0.8.19 compiler, because that works without a problem. Otherwise, you need to compile it for Ethereum for the Paris chain, and then you can use any compiler.
So there's another question from a chat. So if I generate an image not minted with NFT, I cannot use them for private or business projects. Therefore, I would need an NFT. So I think you can just make an image. It doesn't have to be an NFT. I mean, you can generate an image.
You can generate like these images. It's an open source model, Flux 4.1. So it's you can use just the image generation part if you want to, and just generate whatever image you want and then post it on social media or use it as your business logo. So there's no.
I mean, you could probably use also Theta just to run your AI workloads.
Yeah, exactly. So
Without even like just paying for it in the Theta token, which presumably I understand is somewhat cheaper than I saw it's somewhat cheaper than on the usual cloud providers.
Yeah, exactly. So in this example, I just wanted to combine the blockchain and the AI part and image generating, the minting as an NFT, as I run an NFT marketplace. It was like it's straightforward for me, but it should just show you how to use the blockchain and how to use the AI part. But also for the hackathon, if anyone is interested in participating, you don't have to use the blockchain part. You can just be and say, okay, I want to build something with AI, or you can just say, I want to build something with the blockchain, but I don't have any use case for the AI part or the cloud computing part. So that's
Yeah,
up
I'm
to
just
anyone.
replying in the chat these
Yeah.
questions, but I think they can also hear us. well.
Perfect. Anyone having issues signing up to Edge Cloud? Okay, perfect. Yeah.
the docs it should like detect my intention to draw a cat, so
Yeah.
it doesn't.
But then, did you finish, or I think you're not? Have you integrated the image generation?
I got the token. Okay, maybe I should
Because probably you
read
just
it more.
you have to walk through. So the first step is integrating just the chatbot, so it can chat with you, and then in the next one you integrate also the Flux model, so separate API. You have to write separate code, which does the image generation. So if you don't integrate that, it can't generate an image.
It's like both links in the README file, they are not available
Which links?
on LLMs.
So the LLMs. Let me show you.
Flux and Bump. No, I already found them on demand. They one after another. But
So you get your link.
I got the token.
Exactly. You need to use the token here. Generate the token.
So I think one
And
token
then-
for all on demand.
Yeah. You only need one token. So for both tokens, but yeah, you need to. Where's the? It's called. So this is the chat integration part. And then you have here the next one is the image generation part. And after you're done with that, it should be able to generate the image. Like a simple case is if it sometimes it fails, like the prompt is probably not optimal if you say something very unspecific. But if you say something like generate me image of a cat and dog, it should at least understand that. Like, but if you're like very unspecific, like I don't know, I'm thinking about the rainbow or something, maybe it doesn't recognize it.
Or you can use also postman, for instance. Whoever uses postman. Yes, but like okay, you can use both. Basically, what you do is what it's going to do.